Good afternoon, class. Let us start the lab. So I hope you remember our previous sessions where we discussed SDLC. Then we talked about the project and also we discussed UML and use cases. We have done one use case diagram. So did you all remember that part? What is UML language and what is use case? Yes, no? Fine, in that case, I assume you're aware with the UML language, and we have done one such UML diagram, which was use case diagram. In that, we have certain use cases and we have some actors. So with that discussion in the UML language, as I told you that we have many different diagrams. So I'll show you once on different types of diagram which we have, and then we'll discuss one more diagram called activity diagram. So in today's lab, we'll continue with our UML session. So UML is a unified modeling language, fine. And I told you that in UML, basically, we have some symbols. There is no code. How this is language, but there is no code. We have some symbolic notations. Okay. Now, if you see, we have different UML diagrams. Okay. For different purposes, we make different diagrams. Okay. The first one is the structure diagram. So how is the structure of our problem definition, or you may say project or a product, fine, or a code, right? For that, we have structure diagram. In that case, we make class diagrams. In that, we show different classes and their interaction. Then we have object diagrams and component diagram. Okay. Apart from that, we have other diagrams like profile, composite, deployment, and package. Okay. Then comes the behavioral diagram. That means how your problem statement or how your product will actually behave. That means their interactions and the flow of the particular project or any product. Let's just say if Google Meet is there, so how it will behave, how it will interact. In that, we have activity diagram, use case diagram, and interaction diagram. And last one is state machine diagram. So in behavioral, we have activity, use case, interaction, and state machine diagram. Further, in the interaction diagram, we have sub-diagrams like sequence, communication, interaction overview, and timing. Okay, so these are the few UML diagrams. So we'll cover almost all of them, but not completely all. So we're done with the use case. Next is the activity. So as far as syllabus, we'll cover the required UML diagrams. So in the use case, we have learned that how the user will interact, fine, and what will be the use cases. We have done one example of ATM also. Now, whatever project you have taken, for that you have to make one use case. And if it requires, make more than one use case. As I taught you previously that in case of ATM, for withdrawal, there will be one use case. Maybe for deposit or for any other activity, we'll be having separate use case. Now, continuing to our discussion, we'll be having another diagram called activity. In the structure diagram, we will learn about class and object diagram. But that we will do in the later sessions. Now we will start with the activity diagram. So you need to remember which diagrams come under which section. Broadly, we have two categories, structure and behavioral. Okay. So an activity diagram, it is more like a flow chart. Okay. You will be showing that what are the activities and the sequence of those activities. We will not be showing exact timing sequence, but the flow we will show. Okay, so apart from these diagrams, we also have one more diagram called DFDs. We'll discuss that diagrams later. Okay, so I was discussing about activity diagram. So in that, basically, you will be showing the flow of activities, not exact sequence, but after, let's just say, in case of online shopping site, you will log in first, then you will look for the products, okay, then you will buy those products, and payment will be there. So we'll show those activities. So I'll start discussing first with the what are the symbolic notations for this diagram. So I hope all of you can see my screen. On activity diagram, the very first symbol we have is of the activity. Okay, so it will be a rectangular box only, but it will be a curved rectangular box. So what you have to show is the activities. As I just mentioned, maybe for the online shopping site, you will be having activities like login, add to cart, search, payment, fine. Then we'll be having control flow. As I told you that we will be showing the sequence of activities. So what will be done next? What will be the next step? So this is quite abstract diagram. We are not filling details here. We are just going for the abstract part of our problem definition. Okay. So for control flow, we have simple arrows. Before that, we start with the initial node and end node. So initial node is a complete filled circle, and final node or end node is of this sort. Okay. Then we have a case where we have decisions. Okay. So for decisions, we'll be having this diamond symbol, or more like a predicate node or yes, no node. Like if it is true, then this activity will happen. Otherwise, this will happen. So we'll be having some activities here. So we'll write condition in the scare braces, and symbol will be first diamond shape symbol. Then the other two parts are the fork and join. Now let us say what is fork. Fork basically means, let us say if we are saying types of books, right? We have some activity like types of books. So we have categories like, we have different genres like horror, then we have actions and rom-com books. So let us say we have different genres for historical books, textbooks, okay? So that means we are having one activity and it is dividing into sub further activities. Over there, we'll use the fork node. So how we will use it? We'll having one arrow, then this kind of dark filled rectangle, and then further subdivisions. So it may be having more than two divisions also. Okay. Then similar to fork, we have join. In the join, basically, let us say the reverse of a fork only. When we are saying different categories and then you're merging into one single part. So for both fork and join, we'll be using this filled rectangular box. So I'll draw it for you, and from there it will get more clear. So this is the basic activity model, and for that we use these symbolic notations: start node, end node, a decision-making one, activity, control flow, fork, and join. Okay, so is this much clear to all of you? Yes, there is a difference between merge node and join node. No, merge and join means same only. But the notation we use is the fork and join. Otherwise, merge means joining only. So apart from this basic activity diagram, we have one swim lane diagram also, but that we will discuss later after we are well versed with this basic activity diagram. So you have to remember this start node, end node, control flow, activity, and decision node. And then we have fork and join node. We'll be using these symbolic notations. So I'll show you one example from this website only. Afterwards, I draw one diagram for you, and later you will be drawing one diagram. Let us try to see one simple example here. Okay, so let us say, let us look at this diagram. So normally it is being said that once you have identified different use cases, from there you can easily make the activity diagrams. Now you know what use cases are there. From there you can make the activity one. Activity is the abstract form of a diagram. No details are covered here. But if we talk about the different flows and activities. Okay, so we'll start with we will begin with this starting node. Okay, as I said, this is our symbolic notation for starting of activity diagram, and then end symbol is there. Okay, so how do we start this? This is a diagram for like where we have received some order. Okay, maybe of any online order you have received and you have to deliver it. Okay, this is just a simple example here. So the first part is like you have received some order. We're covering only one aspect of some bigger part of order processing. Okay, let's just say Amazon is there and an order has been received. Now, what next will be done at the logistic part? Okay, so order has been received. So receive order is there. Okay, then over there we have different options. The one option is like we will go with the fulfillment of that order, and second one is we will send the invoice or the bill. So two parallel things will go on. Bill will be sent out and the order will be fulfilled. So in case of a send invoice, we have a simple part which is receive payment. Invoice is there, now payment will be paid or payment will be received. In case of this, we have further two options that regular delivery is there, or we have to arrange overnight delivery or the immediate delivery. Okay, so this is like if else. So this is the case where we have a rush order, and this is the otherwise part. But normally you will write, apart from the else, you will write some proper statement, just like rush order. You may write like regular order here. Fine. So this is the decision part. This part is not always required. What they have done is like when the decision node has been over, they have joined that decision node. You can directly also reach here. This is not the mandatory portion. And this is how they have shown here in this symbolic notation. Merge node of decision node. But we will not use it in normal diagram. But if you wanted to, you may use. Otherwise, we will not make it that complex. So what they're doing here is that once the order has been fulfilled, that decision is being joined here. Now you see we have these three portions here: arrange overnight delivery, arrange regular delivery, and last is the receive payment. And this much is our diagram, and now we want the end of it. So before ending node, we will make we'll club them together. And how we will do that is using the join part. This is fork here, okay? And this is join. Okay, so are you able to get the concept here? What is activity diagram? What are the symbols here? Yes, no? So activity is basically a very simple diagrams. So fine. So let me show you one more example of a shopping site. I'll draw that for you. Okay. For now, I will be making it a simple paint only, but otherwise we will use proper software tools for that. So the usage chart is the one which I've suggested for using to all of you. Otherwise, you may take any other tool also. Usage chart is online tool for drawing these diagrams. Let us see in the paint one diagram. So I'll ask you like how we will go ahead and you will be answering me here. Symbols I will be managing here, but how we will create, you have to think. Okay, so we'll do the example of login, online shopping cart. Okay, so all of you pay attention here. Again, I repeat, our example name is online shopping site, or you could say online shopping cart. Let us say online shopping site, we take it properly. So we will start with what is the very first thing in this diagram of activity diagram? What symbol is there? Hetvisha. Oh, okay. We'll not call it a doll. We will not call. We'll say as it is a filled circle. So let me just take this pencil only here. Okay, let me take this circle. Okay. So we have the starting node. Okay. Now what next part we can do here? Yes. Okay, fork node. Okay, fork for what? Who will answer here apart from Hiren? Who will answer here? We will use fork node. But why we will use a fork node? What options we can have here? विवेक, रौनक, सौरभ, हर्षल. ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग साइट में हम सबसे पहले क्या करेंगे? कैसे स्टार्ट करेंगे हम अपना? लेट्स से अमेज़न है हमारे पास. ऑलमोस्ट सब लोग यूज कर रहे होंगे उसको तो. Okay. So we have options of like we'll have sign up or login option. We will create account, we'll log in, right? So let's just say we consider two options, which is there either sign up or login. And that is why we'll take one fork node. But before that, what we will do is like we'll have this control flow. Fine. Then we will use one fork node. Okay. And then you see further, we have two options, login and sign up. For that, we have this curved rectangle. Okay, fine. So we will be having here sign up and login. So you can write it here. You can understand from here. Okay. So afterwards, what will be the third thing here? Okay, yes, who will go next? We have covered the first part, which was sign up and login. Home page. Okay, fine. So you see, we have make one mistake here. Fine. We will not use fork here because we have to take decision that which activity we want to do. If or else will be there. So we'll use decision node here. With the fork, we basically means we have parallel activities which we wanted to continue. But let us say you have signed up now, but ultimately you have to log in again. So this will be like a decision node कि sign up करना है, log in करना है. After even after sign up, right, you have to move towards the login and then you will proceed your activity. So this is incorrect here. Let's take a new diagram then making this one. So we were having the starting node, okay, which was the filled circle. Then we have to take a decision node, which will be having two options, either sign up or you say either login. And in the conditions, you may write like already a user or a new user. So you can make along with me as it will be a very rough diagram. So kindly make along with me. Fine. Then if sign up is completed, you will move towards this part of login. Then after login, what will happen is, so as one of you said, we may go to the home page, fine, or we may also authenticate that whether you're a valid user or not. But as we are making the more abstract diagram, right, we are simply showing the activities which will be happening. So let's just say we have done the login and login is successful. But you may also add that part, like if you want to authenticate part, again, you will take a decision node, yes, no, okay. Or let us say we're taking a second part where login is successful and we'll have some home page. So even if we have home page here, let us say we have reached here. So this much is clear. We have the starting node. Then we have taken one decision node for either login and sign up. Okay, new user or old user. Then after sign up, we are moving towards login again. And then we have a home page. Now what next part we will do? Anyone after homepage, what we can do? Okay, search product, view product, other things. Here the term is sign up, not sign in. So I hope you're aware with that sign in, sign up difference. As a new user, we make an account and that way we have sign up and sign in options. Okay, so we will be having the search items. Okay, price, compare their price, quality, and add it to the cart. Okay, so we'll go, let us say we have a home page, then we make search options. Fine. Search or view items. Okay. Then we have add to cart option. So we have reached till add to cart option. And then let us say we may make a fork here and we have two options. Okay, let's not make a fork here. We have done a view item and then let's say we're simply adding to cart only. And then we further go for payment. Okay. In the payment, you may use the fork method and you can have different payment options. Fine. And then lastly, you will be having, you may have, you can simply log out afterwards, or you may be like sending payment details or order details, such things you can add. And once you have view some item, we may option out two options like add to cart or wish list, add to wish list. So you can make fork here also. And after payment options, you have to have one activity like closing the application or maybe receiving bill or something like that. Or payment done, something like that. You have to make one activity, and lastly, log out. And for ending cases also, like if somebody doesn't want to buy, if you're showing just after wish list, they're closing, that case also you have to take. No, it is not necessary to include every symbol in the diagram. Activity symbol is important. Okay. Then we have control flow. The very basic symbol which you require is the starting node, end node. Dhruv, just wait a second. Starting node, end node, then we have activity and then control flow. So these four are the important ones. Fine. If in case we have if else case, then we will use decision node. If we're having multiple options, then the fork node. If we have to join those multiple options, then we have join node. Otherwise, all parts are not necessary. If you're for the admin and the user, we will be having different activity diagrams. Both will not follow the same process. Dhruv. Okay, so is it clear to all of you? So I have shown you a very basic example. Otherwise, however you will think, it will change, and you want to add more details, you may. So you can complete this diagram using Lucidchart, online shopping system. From now, you just make from the customer point of view. Okay, others, any doubts here? Miraj? Okay, fine. So let us discuss now swim lane diagram. So similar to activity diagrams, we have one more thing called swim lanes. So Miraj, is it clear to you? Okay, good. So now we have made a simple activity diagram, but we can also make in another way, which is swim lane diagrams. So I'll show you what are those. Okay, so we'll see this example here. This one we will see student enrollment. Okay. So this is the example for student enrollment. This is the simple diagram which we have discussed. Okay. Now for similar diagram, we can make one swim lane diagrams. In that, what do we do is like for different categories. For that, first is like we draw a big rectangular box. Inside that, we make an activity diagram. Okay. Then we divide into parts. Like in the use case, we have seen different actors, right? Now, based on different actors, we will make our activity diagram. So this time I made vertically, but in your case, you make horizontally only. Sorry, vertically only. They have made horizontal way. You draw in the vertical way. That is more easy to understand. Or whatever way you can do that. So they have identified three actors here: consultant, accountant, and payroll service. So we will make the activities as per their slots. So this is more better way of showing activities and plus different actors. In one particular problem definition, different actors will be involved. Okay. And this way you can differentiate them. Let's just say we are filling out some expense form, and that is done by the consultant. And then for the validation of expense and other things, accounting part is there. And finally, for paying employees, payroll service is there. So the idea here is that this is a difficult example for you to understand right now, but you just see this example is for a staff expense submission, like how much expenditure is there for the staff. Okay. So the idea here is that you will make one bigger rectangular box, and that will make a different divisions, either vertically or horizontally, and we will identify different actors or different users. Okay. And accordingly, we'll make a diagram in their particular blocks. We do not mean like you see in this case, all three of the actors are involved here in this one particular process only. Just as we discussed activity for the shopping site, you will not say that you will make for the admin and the user in the same box, right? Because both are like they have different process should be same. If in that same process other things are coming up, for that you can make different particular boxes for that. Maybe for the payment you can separate out, for the search you can separate out, homepage you can make a separate one. This way you can show different swim lanes. So this is swim lane diagram. This is similar as activity only, but only our representation is different. But for learning, we have two diagrams, activity and further part is the swim lane. So you may be asked in the exam like to draw only swim lane diagrams, or maybe they simply ask for activity diagram. Okay, is it clear about swim lane? Okay, good. So I hope apart from Abhinav, you guys are getting the concept here. Now all of you complete the online shopping site diagram. Okay. Then you make an activity diagram for the ATM. And afterwards, for your own projects, complete the activity diagrams. So in case of a use case, how much you are done? As far as I remember, nobody has showed me their use case diagrams. Like apart from very few people, I have not seen your use case diagram. So for now, do one thing that you continue with the activity only, and after going home, like after the session ends, revise use case and do let me know in the next session that if any doubts are there, anything is there. And by the next lab, you complete this activity diagram part for your project also. And now in this lab itself, till 2 o'clock, complete the online shopping site activity diagram. For your homework, you have to make ATM one, and then for your project. So this design part, which we are covering in the lab, it is both for the lab sessions and for the theory sessions. In the lab part, you have to do it for your projects, but in the theory sessions, you will be asked for such questions. So is it clear what thing you have to do now and what not? I've shared the link here for learning more about activity diagrams. This is Visual Paradigm website. No, in decision node, we have if and else case only. You only have two parts. It's the predicate node. Also try to understand, like, based on the activity diagram, let us say how you will be coding, like what things will you use for code part. So think more logically and more deeper. Okay, so show me how much you have done. Hetvi, Hetvi, share your screen. So, Hetvi, are you drawing on the notebook? I suppose yes, and you're not sitting idle in this case. Hetvi, show me by the end of the day, either in the notebook or any other way. All of you should show me your diagrams by the end of the day only. For online shopping site, you have to complete it by today itself. Either laptops or notebooks. Okay, Rutvik. Rutvik, share your screen and let me know how much you have done. Abhishek, Abhishek Patel, share your screen and show me how much diagram you have made till now. Okay, meanwhile, the students' responses, let us move to the other ones. Abhinav, so anyone who's ready with the partial diagram can share their screens, or if one has completed. So nobody's ready with the diagram yet, not even the partial one. Yes, Vandana. Are you done with the diagram here? Or do you have any question here? Okay, you may present the screen. Oh, okay. Okay, Dhruv, I'll look at your ones. Vandana, yes, you can share the screen. So Vandana, you're using Word, right? But kindly use some proper tool for that. So as I said, you may use Lucid Chat for it. So the usage chat is there, smart draw is there. And Dhruv will check your diagram and I'll let you know for the changes and however it is. Fine, so let us take your attendance for now. So we'll start with the lab B batch attendance first. Okay, so batch B. Roll number 27, 28,
Present, ma'am.
30,
Present, ma'am.
31,
Present, ma'am.
32,
Yes, ma'am.
33,
Present, ma'am.
34, 35,
Yes, ma'am.
36,
Yes, ma'am.
38, roll number 39,
Present, ma'am. 39.
40.
34 present.
Okay. Roll number 40, Vivek.
40, ma'am. Present.
41,
Present, ma'am.
Drumil.
Present, ma'am.
42, 43,
Yes, ma'am. Present.
44,
Yes.
45, roll number Darshan. Ayusha. Hetvi.
Yes, ma'am.
Sujit. Miraj. Harshad. Abhi. Akash.
Yes, ma'am.
Smith Vora. Okay, so this is for the batch B. If anyone is present, just let me know. You can see on the screen here.
Hello, ma'am. 42.
Yes,
45, present, madam.
batch B.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
42.
42.
45.
Okay, so A batch students kindly write your roll up in the chat box. For the batch A, write in the chat box. If done with that, you're allowed to leave the lab.